Welcome to this week's edition of the FA Show. I'm Nate Barrett. We start off this week with a bold warning to BDs. The head of the Securities and Exchange Commission's Enforcement Unit has sent a wake-up call to broker-dealers that the agency will ratchet up fines and penalties as a more effective deterrent against misconduct. In a statement, Gurbir Grewal, director of the Division of Enforcement, said, quote, "We must design penalties that actually deter and reduce violations and are not seen as an acceptable cost of doing business." Grewal, the former New Jersey Attorney General who took on the enforcement role in July, said the SEC would review areas where it found that prior penalties were not sufficient, even for broker-dealers who were first-time offenders. The SEC could impose harsher sanctions for firms committing the same type of rule violations previously charged against other firms. The North American Securities Administrators Association unveiled this week proposed model rules through which state regulators could revoke licenses of state-registered investment advisors and broker-dealers who stiff investors who won awards against them in arbitration. If states adopt the rules, they would make it an unethical business practice for broker-dealers and investment advisors to fail to pay an arbitration award or fine and therefore subject them to state enforcement actions, including revocation of their licenses. FINRA already has an established education process for barring broker-dealers and brokers from being active in the industry until customer awards are satisfied. This proposal, if embraced by state regulators who would impose those same restrictions on investment advisors who are not FINRA registered and may fall out of the Securities and Exchange Commission's oversight because their clients' assets are below the $100 million threshold.
50-50, 60-40, 80-20, most of those ratios we employ every day. But what about 20-20-60 ratio? Hi, I'm Jeff Crosby, a Barron's top advisor with a $5 million a year practice just outside Seattle, Washington. I'm also an entrepreneur, 25-time Ironman triathlon finisher. Yep, that means I wear spandex. Former collegiate basketball coach and point guard, husband, father, teacher, and hopefully a lifelong learner. This week, I want to talk with you about a ratio that almost never gets mentioned. But for advisors looking to grow their business, this may be one of the most important ratios for you. All right, here it is, 20-20-60. There was a study done, and the question was asked, would you be willing to refer your advisor? 20% of the clients said, yes, of course, absolutely. These are the people that love telling people about you and are the same folks who are usually eager to recommend a new restaurant, vacation spot, or a new book. By nature, they love to share in the good stuff. And you're part of that. You're probably thinking of some of your clients now. However, at the other end of the spectrum, the study revealed 20% of your clients will never give referrals. If it helps, it doesn't mean they don't value your service. It has little to do with you or your team. It's just their nature. You probably have some of those clients you're thinking of now. Here's the astonishing part and the real opportunity for you. The other 60% said, yes, of course we would refer our advisor, but they've never asked. It isn't our clients, it's us. We need to ask. So let's do some simple math. Let's say of the 60% who refer you, half of them do it. Tack that on to the other 20% who are willing to refer you and give referrals no matter what. And now you've got half your client base willing to refer you. Imagine what that could look like over the next 1 to 3 years. Wow. Here's a reality and a reminder to you. The person who gets referred to you oftentimes becomes a great referral source as well. So now you've just deepened your client base and your network of clients. Thanks for watching this episode. In our next episode, I'll give you some tried and proven ways to ask for referrals. Additionally, look for future episodes on seminars that will help put bottom in seats, online engagement tools that spark meaningful conversations and build trust, and dozens of other strategies for growth and confidence building among your existing clientele. You can also find a full library of practice management content at 3xequity.com/practice.
In this week's excerpt, Advisor Hub publisher Tony Sirianni sits down to discuss corporate culture and more with Michael Purpura, President, Wealth Management at D.A. Davidson.
And I think that was a tough thing for all CEOs to sort of deal with. How do you keep culture going in a tough time? Look, the easiest answer to that is start with a good culture, and then it's that much easier to get it going. So you had mentioned that some of the stuff is here to stay. I mean, clearly the advisors have figured out this Zoom thing, right? So that's been a great thing for advisors, and they've been able to sort of have maybe more intimate, conversations with their clients.
Yeah, there's no doubt that I don't know that the world's changed in dramatic ways, but our ability to engage via Zoom has been very powerful. What our financial advisors have found is that they can, it's convenient for the client because they're not driving into the office. In addition, they've been able to connect with the next generation easy, Tony. We know that that's an issue for us, and we've been coaching and preaching engagement with the next generation as a firm and as an industry for a long period of time. But it's awful easy to set up a Zoom call and to say, well, why don't you invite your son or daughter? We know you wanted to engage them. So that's been a powerful tool. And there will be, going forward, there's no doubt, more Zoom engagement through multiple generations. And I view that as a good thing.
Yeah. So for our business, the other thing I've been asking everybody, and real estate, right? So we now have the Zoom. What's the impact of the Zoom on real estate? Most firms sign 10-year leases, so they have these long-term, the structural deals in place. But there's certainly opportunity maybe to tweak real estate. Have you thought about that at all? What that might look like going forward?
We have, and I think you hit it on the head. I think tweak's the right answer. I think when it first hit, there was this belief that there'd be massive turnover in real estate. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think as leases come up, there'll be the opportunity to be done some downsizing, but many of the advisors I've talked to still plan to return to the office. I think what we are seeing is the advisors, especially the more seasoned generation, they are more willing to work remotely than they were before, in particular at second homes, but they still want an office to come back to. So we're going to tweak it. We're going to tweak it lease by lease. We're not going to make any crazy grandiose decisions in terms of changes at this stage.
And it's also important. You mentioned next generation. It's super important for next generation of advisors. You can't start off this business doing Zoom calls. I mean, you learn so much, right, from the man or the woman down the hall from you. That's how you learn this business. It's an apprentice business.
Right, for sure. And then we fairly quickly through our training and apprentice program started to safely get people back together. We've prioritized that because I agree, Zoom can only provide so much benefit.
For the complete interview, as well as other discussions with industry leaders and influencers, visit the Advisor Hub TV section of advisorhub.com.
We turn now to the Recruiting Wire, powered by 3X Equity, the authority on advisor transitions. The Veteran Broker Recruiting Show goes on as Rockefeller Capital Management on Friday nabbed a UBS Wealth Management USA team in Los Angeles. Rockefeller snapped up the UBS duo of Stephen White and Kevin Kramer in Los Angeles, according to a well-placed source who said they had produced around $2.6 million. They had $320 million in client assets under management. They are the 63rd to join the rebuilt Family Office's private wealth unit since its 2018 recapitalization. Gladstone Wealth Partners, an independent firm affiliated with LPL Financial, has hired from Morgan Stanley a $2.2 million producer in Red Bank, New Jersey. Douglas Chin joined Gladstone along with a client associate, Carolyn Anderson. Chin had managed $200 million in assets. Chin started his career at Merrill in 1983, shifted to Prudential for 3 years from 1988 to 1991, and then returned to Merrill for another 20 years before joining Morgan Stanley in 2012, according to his broker check record. Wells Fargo's advisors recruiting gears kept churning with another strong round of hires from its rivals, according to a company spokeswoman who said the wirehouse last week brought in more than $675 million in total client assets under management. The largest producer on the move, 33-year industry veteran Myron M. Tracy Barker, joined the firm from UBS Wealth Management USA in Cincinnati. Barker managed nearly $180 million in client assets, generating more than $1.9 million in annual revenue at his former firm. Barker, who had been with UBS since 2012, is joined at Wells by his daughter, Brooke Barker, a financial advisor in training, according to her LinkedIn profile. For a complete look at the charts and a log of recent moves, as well as access to the Advisor Hub offers tool to find out what your practice is worth, visit the deals and comp section of advisorhub.com. Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of the FA Show on Advisor Hub TV, powered by 3X Equity. I'm Nate Barrett. Have a great day.